Bonjour, good day, parents. It's an honor to have you here on our page. And today we are launching a beautiful mentorship program that we have put together purposely for parents across Africa, across Europe, across every part of the world. Okay, so that is what we're going to introduce to you today. First of all, I am Mrs. Kedush Nancy, an international business consultant and a life coach from France. And I have been able to train a lot of people from Europe, from Africa, Asia, and the rest. And we came across a lot of challenges and few problems that most of our children have that if we are able to communicate that to the parents in a way that they would also get to know more about what the children are facing, I think we'll end up nurturing the children together in order to have beautiful children growing up to become great parents just like you. So today we're going to introduce to you our newest kit that we have put together for the parents, which is You Guide Parents. So we have the You Guide Parents Kit, which we are launching today, and this goes for every parent. If you are a parent, if you have a child, you should watch these videos. It will go a long way to help you. Let me give you a little history about me. I actually worked in the financial institution as an investment banker for over 5 years, and then also working in executive banking, commercials, and all that. After that, I decided that I wanted to test the waters and see. So I worked in manufacturing companies, I worked in few IT companies, and then I decided that I wanted to do my master's in France. So guess what? I got the admission and I went to one of the best schools in France and in Europe here, and it was a beautiful experience. And after that, I decided that I wanted to start my own companies. So God being so good, I've been able to create three companies. That is Revista, Digicator App, and Smart Diary in France. So today I'm going to share with you most of the topics, most of the challenges, most of the issues that after training over 30,000 students across Africa, across Europe, and all that, we have put it together so that we'll be able to communicate that with you and see how best we can help our children navigate their path and become the best. So I'm going to walk you through, and if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to let us know. So we're going to look at several modules that is going to help us empower our children. All right, so we're going to look at this and we'll be able to help our wards to become the best version of themselves. So we're going to look at modules which will include mastering the family mindset and goal setting. We're also going to look at temperament mastery. Who are you? Who am I? Who is your child? And who are we? Okay, as a family, who are we? What do we stand for? What makes we we? Okay, we're also going to look at the intentional parents. A lot of issues, has been circulating on the social media space and also in schools, and it's really sometimes not too sweet to hear. So all these things we're going to delve into that, and we're also going to look at understanding child development stages. If you're dealing with a boy or if you're dealing with a girl and they are in maybe their teens, they are below 10 years, and you're above teens, they're above 20 and all that, how are you going to handle them? Are you going to handle them just like the way your parents handled you, or are you going to come up with a new strategy? So that is what we're being able to put together here that we're going to learn together. Okay, we're also going to look at effective communication with children. Sometimes when I'm in my office, the children will just troop in there. Auntie Nancy, do you know that my mother, my father did this and all that? I say, oh, okay, so did you explain yourself? I say, I tried, but mommy, that. So we're going to find simplest ways that we're going to try as much as possible, or our maximum best, how we can communicate with our children effectively. Likewise, them communicating with us in a most efficient way for us to understand and move on to our next level. We're also going to look at building unshakable family confidence. I realize that especially when it comes to some part of our country. I'm originally from Ghana, and I'm based here in France, serving people globally. I have trained different nationalities, over 50 different nationalities from Europe, UK, a whole lot. So I got to the realization that some of the um, children sometimes, it's not that they don't have confidence, but circumstances and things that maybe, or the environment they find themselves sometimes inhibit that confidence from coming out. So we have been able to put all these things together. By the time you finish this parents kits, you will learn a lot and help your children a lot. And we're also going to look at managing the most frequent locations where your children go in terms of they being at home, they going to school, they going to the mosque, they going to church, they going to the market, and a whole lot of places. How are you going to mentor them or nurture them to navigate into these locations that they find themselves almost every time, or almost every week, every month? We're going to look at that as well. And we're also going to look at discipline versus punishment. I remember one of the students I mentor, the dad used a belt to lash him because he messed up, and he came crying. He showed me the bruises and all that, and we had to do a lot of talking with the ward and also with the parents, and then after that things became much better. So parents, you would need to also know whether what you're doing, the sanctions you're giving to your ward, whether it's a discipline you're giving or it's a punishment out of anger, and all those little things that trigger our actions, then in the long term does not go well with our children. We're also going to look at family conflict resolution. In our times in the 80s, sometimes the way conflicts are handled are different. These days, the Gen Z generation, it's totally different. It's a different ball game. So we have put this together so that you know what, when, and how to go about it in order to bring out the best out of the situation, so that everyone can be able to understand the situation and grow from there. We're also going to look at another beautiful module, which will be family financial literacy. When you go to some part of Africa, you can see that this is really a major problem that, is running through most of the families. And to be honest with you, I have been able to, work in the financial institution, so I know how money works. I understand money. I understand what it takes to multiply even the little that you have, and what children see, what the parents are doing, and how they emulate all these things. And then when the time they also grow up and they start their own family, they begin to exhibit the same character traits. So that is why we've decided that we are going to do the financial literacy training for you, so that you can be able to also help your ward, because they also have their module which is in relation to financial literacy session. We want you to make money. I want you to make money, because sometimes if you school reopens, there is pressure to pay school fees, pressure to pay food, pressure to pay for transportation, pressure to get a driver to drop the children, pick the children, a whole lot of financial burden. And it's increasing every day. You have bills to pay at home, parents have to rush to work, and all these things. If you don't have a stable income, or if you are not able to multiply, even if you have an average income, sometimes you feel that, yeah, there's stress. So I'm going to show you, as I've been able to do this and trained a lot of people, I can assist you. So follow me and let's go through this together. All right. So we're going to also look at your family's food and health. These days, when you go to some of our schools, what the school is providing for the children, if you check the quality of what they eat in terms of the nutritional value per plate, per child, you can see that there is a little kind of um, under quality. And if you compare that to Europe, sometimes it's really good to do some healthy comparison to see which one you can be able to improve. So that's why sometimes I do healthy comparison, not in a negative way. So we're going to look at what kind of food should your children eat, especially if they are in certain age bracket, and when they should eat and why they should eat, and what the children are supposed to know that, okay, if I'm going to eat this, why should I eat this? I remember I was training some of my children, my mentees, and then they say, oh, Auntie Nancy, for me, I don't like salad. I like chicken and killer willy, And I was like, oh, really? Okay. Then, so when we finished the module, they said, oh, Auntie Nancy, it seems like I have to start eating a lot of vegetables. I have to start eating contumely. I have to start eating walnuts. I have to start eating blueberries and all that. And it all uh, uh, put together, it opened your mind for them to see that, hey, if mommy is going to give me this, if daddy is going to give me this, then I know the reason or the consequences of eating what I'm eating, and which will also help parents as well. We're also going to look at family, that is our nuclear family, in terms of relationship management, how to handle family downtime. We are all human beings. It's not every time you're always going to be happy, going up and down, jumping up and down, expecting things to work every time. Sometimes we are faced with challenges that we need to also get some energy boost. All right. And same way for the children. Sometimes they also have their lowest moment. How do they manage? How do they rejuvenate their energy to gather momentum to continue the journey that God has given them? So we're going to look at this as well. We're also going to look at making your children sit for BEC before their time. I was having a discussion with one of my the parents that I mentored her children. She has two children, and then she said, Auntie Nancy, my daughter says that she wants to sit for BEC. She's in GHS 2, that is Form 2, and she would like to sit for the BEC. What do you suggest? So I had to do a proper phone call and do a lot of explanation for her to understand. I had a session with the ward, explained everything to her. Then when we were done, then the ward said, Madam Nancy, you are right. Okay, so before you would want your ward to take that leap or to make that decision, I would want to help you. I would want you to be part of this model, understand the context of what we are saying, and then after, if your ward also finishes her part in their module, which is the UGuide Champions Kit for those in junior high school, and then we have the UGuide Teens for those in senior high school. When they understand these things, they will know and take responsibilities of their actions, because at the end of the day they are the ones going to write the exam, not you. So if they would want to make that decision, they should know what is ahead of them and what is expected of them. Because remember, just in 2025, most of the students that wrote the BC, they actually didn't do well. Likewise the WASE, about almost 50% of the people, I think it was around 45 to 50%, failed social studies. You can imagine the other subject, so you can see that now the quality and the fear and panic and rushing for people to jump the gun and all that, it's actually inhibiting the natural course of knowledge, understanding, retention, and how they can be able to apply it in their next level when they move to junior high school, or they move to senior high school, or they move to the university. So that is where we end up seeing a lot of people that are now graduates, but when you check the content of what they know, is below belt, majority of them. So let's help our children learn properly and then also know when and why they should do certain things. We're also going to look at digital parenting and screen time. These days, social media has taken over the space of our children. The moment they close from the classroom, they're looking for their phone. Where's my phone? And they're going to TikTok, they're going to this, they're following this page, they're doing this and all that. Parents, I think yesterday I read in the news that was published by TV3 that France has banned social media for those who are underage. You know, so I'm also looking forward to that to happen in Ghana. I would really love it so the children will know that there is time for everything. There's time to study, there's time to build your foundation and have a solid foundation in terms of you being able to navigate your path. Even if you decide not to continue to the university, you will have your basic education, which is solid, that you would need to navigate your path to move on to your next level. And then also, what you can do as a parent to even control the screen time for your children, what they are supposed to watch, why should they watch, and what are you watching that they are also emulating. Sometimes you see that parents will be on their phone, they're doing their own thing, and the children are just around, they peep and they see what mommy is doing, what daddy is doing, what daddy is watching, who daddy is chatting with, and they cultivate all these little attitudes from parents. So we're going to delve into this and help your children become great. We're also going to look at your child's career path planner that is moving from upper primary through to junior high school, senior high school, and the university, and even beyond. I remember some of my friends, they didn't have parents like that to walk through them, those different stages with them. My parents didn't have that creates that opportunity for us. So I realized that you had to do it in your own way. And most of the children, sometimes, most of them, they make the decisions themselves. And then I remember when I went to most of the senior high schools, because I published two books, that is Foundation for Successful Life for those in junior high school, and then The Pillars for those in senior high school. And they were asking questions. Parents, they were asking questions. They didn't even want us to go. Auntie Nancy, so with this one, you see that my parents said I should do this, but that is not what I wanted to do. And now the girl is frustrated. She said, Auntie Nancy, I don't want to go to school again. I just want to go and sell in the market and be free. These children, they're facing a lot of challenges, and sometimes they're even scared of the parents to open up. So I'm going to walk with you through these modules so that you also know that if your ward is taking this career path, what you are also supposed to do. Yes, my parents, in one way or the other, they did the best they could do, but not as I have put together for you. That's why this is really crucial that we are able to extend it to all the other parents that we know, our friends, our siblings that have children, so they can learn these things and help these children to be able to make wise decisions, better decisions that will align to their purpose. You see, so it's really important, mom and dad. Okay, so we're also going to look at self-care for parents. Parents are working so hard. They're trying all that they can. They go to work, they wake up early in the morning at 4, at 5, they are off, they come back very late, struggling here and there. You also need to give yourself a good treat. Yes, give yourself a treat. All right, that is really important. We'll look at that in the module. We're also going to look at family appraisal. Sometimes this happens in the working space, but this time it is working in families because I do this in my home. I start all these modules I'm telling you, I do them in my home. And I've seen tremendous improvement. My husband is French, so, they have a different mindset, different cultures, beliefs, and all that. So I had to do a lot of adjustment, a lot of adaptation and flexibility so that we can be able to build a sustainable family. So you need to also know this, the essence of appraisal. Your children will appraise you. I did a training for one of my parents, one of the parents I mentored, and then she said, so Auntie Nancy, my son is going to appraise me. And when you look at the facial expression, you can see that he was not happy with it. Then I said, yes, Daddy, he's going to appraise you so that you can be able to get feedback. You'll be able to know why your ward is behaving in a certain way that you don't understand. Then that would open room for better communication. So when we deal with this module, you will get to know a lot more. Okay, and we're also going to talk about creating your family vision board and books. Sometimes I have my vision board, I have my vision book. I started about 10 years ago, and every year I do my vision board for the year. So I do it over 10 years. I have it pasted there. So every time I'm passing, I'm seeing, my husband is seeing, and he's checking me. You said you're going to do this. How far is it? So that is what we're going to do. And we are also going to look at another important module, that is spot the green and red flags in your children, managing challenging behaviors. This is crucial because most of the parents, when they see the signal, oh, this one, they will stop, this one, oh, don't mind, they will. It's really crucial to have a look at these. And then we are also going to talk about what to do with feedback, positive and negative feedback. There was one parent I was training the ward, and then the ward said that the mom said, my daughter was telling me that sometimes you feel like she's not enough. Then I said, okay, so what did you do? She said, Auntie Nancy. I told her, oh, it's okay, you know. But that is not how to handle something like that. It goes beyond just brushing it off and letting it slide. There is more to it. So most of the students that I mentored, they were able to open up. So when they give me all the feedback, I'll be listening, noting it, and helping them. Then I had to train the parents as well. And at the end of the day, the journey became beautiful for both parties. All right. And we're also going to look at how to raise intelligent children. And then the entrepreneurial parents. All right, my parents are entrepreneurs. My dad owns his own company. And then I also ended up opening my own companies. My junior brother opened his own company. My elder sister opened her own company. So children actually see what parents do with their time and how they think about the entrepreneurial opportunity or the environment we find ourselves, and they learn. So for me, I learned a little bit. I think it's in the DNA, and sometimes it's not in the DNA, and people are interested to want to own their own companies. They want to have options. So I had to train myself in order to enable me start my own companies when I relocated to France. It has helped me a lot. It's gone a long way to help me. So we're also going to look at becoming successful despite family patterns. Some people say that, oh, in my family, we are like this. So in our family, we don't have this. In our family, they will put all the dots together, and truly they can be right, or they are right, but that shouldn't inhibit your progress or making decisions or different choices. So we're going to look at that as well. And we're also going to look at preparing for retirement. A lot of people, when they work, now when they're about 50, 55 years, hey, what am I going to do when I go on retirement? No. Okay, so we're going to look at the better way to plan for your retirement. And then we're also going to look at personal and career development goals. Okay, as you have completed, now you have children, remember your career path doesn't end when you give birth to children. Your children are watching you. Mommy, do you remember that 5 years ago you were an office clerk? And now you're still an office clerk, mommy. What are you doing? One of them asked the mother in my office. They say, but mommy, you are pushing me to go higher and do a lot of things, but you haven't done anything. You have not even written any exam for the whole 5 years and 10 years that you gave birth to me. And we loved over it. It's a beautiful journey to embark on such mentorship programs. Okay, so we're also going to look at external family relationship management, that is with the aunties, with the uncles, and grandparents and all that. How do you manage? How do you deal with them? Do children these days visit their grandparents? Do they help them? Do they go to the village to even extend a helping hand, just to show love, respect, and a whole lot of things? So we're going to see how this is going to be connected to them and how they can improve and become great. We're also going to look at the last part, which will be leadership and impact of your legacy to the third and fourth generation. That is the command God gave us. So you have to work well. If you didn't get that opportunity, do it for your children, so that your children's children will also, to the fourth generation, so they can also benefit. So that is what I am doing. I want to live by the Bible principles. That is going to go a long way to help a lot of people. So my goal is to impact about 1 million people across the globe. So imagine that if I help 1 million people, the 1 million people help other people, then you can see that the third, fourth generation is really going to be a beautiful arena for everyone. We're also going to look at who is preparing our boys to be virtuous men. Look at what is happening on the TV. You know, you go on TV, you go on social media, you go to Parliament, MPs fighting MPs. This one will lift the chair, this one will take the papers, boom, boom, everywhere. You know, and sometimes I said, are they aware that they are on TV? Are they aware that there is a camera there, that somebody is watching them globally? And sometimes I feel shy that, oh, even if it's among my friends, I wouldn't want to do that. You know, we have to prepare these people very well. And the way you would train a boy won't be the same as you're training a girl. Because remember, boys are going to be the head of the family and they have responsibilities. They must be the leader, they must be the exemplary how do I say, an exemplary epitome of what their children are going to look at. So for me, I want my children to look up to me and say that, mommy is organized, mommy is focused, mommy is punctual, mommy is this. Then let me try, let me follow. So monkey see, monkey do. So what you are doing, your children are indirectly copying than for you to give them in the instruction to do this ABC. Meanwhile, you are doing something different, you know. So we are all going to learn this together. And we're going to look at balancing traditional and modern parenting values. You know, those of us who were born in the 80s and those in the 90s, those who were born in the Gen Z's category, you know, parenting is a little bit complicated. So you have to know all these things. And we're going to look at raising resilient children in economic uncertainty. We'll also look at navigating career pressure and prestigious profession expectations. I'm a doctor, so you too, you have to be a doctor. There was one that I had to deal with. The dad is a doctor at Kulibu, and the dad is telling her, no, you also have to be a doctor. And the son said, Daddy, I said I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be, I want to be a consultant. I want to go into business. The dad said no. And there was a fight. I had to come into the picture and help both parties understand the pros and cons, the consequences, and then also why they should make such decisions. And for the dad to also know that, is that the purpose for that word coming into this world? Does the interest and everything align with what he is looking forward to? You know, and at the end of the day, it was like, Auntie Nancy, I think you are right. Okay, so we have to look at this as well. We're also going to look at preventing and addressing substance abuse. Now, most of our youngsters are taking hard drugs, and I think about last year, you could see people taking red, people taking a whole lot of smoking here and there at that tender age. And some of them, they will even take the red, and you can see they are dozing off, and some of them are even riding the tricycle on the highway. Remember that sometimes some of these things you might think that it's not going to affect you, but remember that somebody would bring that issue to affect someone. So we all have to work together as a team to help spread the good news, and that is why I've been able to put together all these models. So we're also going to look at another important topic, which will be managing romantic relationships and sexual health conversations. I remember when I was living under the roof of my parents, some of these things they don't find it comfortable to talk about. I must be honest with you. They were not comfortable to talk about these things. And God being so good, I was a little bit ambitious, focused. I want to get here, so I was able to, stay focused a bit more than some of my classmates that ended up falling victims. Some of them even got pregnant at junior high school. They couldn't even go to senior high school. And all these are as a result of poor communication about some of these topics, whether you like it or not. Some of them will have the feelings earlier. And it's not a bad thing that they have that sexual drive or that love drive early. But you, as the parent, you must know that it is your duty to nurture them, guide them what to do with how they're feeling. That logoligi that is they're feeling, how they're going to protect it for the right person at the right time, at the right place. So this is really going to be important for you parents so we can help our children, because when I was dealing with the youth, I was invited as a guest speaker for those for University of Cape Coast, and then also for Ghana Communication Telecom University, and all these things popped up. You go to SHS, Accra Academy, Frontman Girls, Wesley Girls. I had a lot of students coming up with all these issues. Until Nancy, I didn't know, and this boy was forced. I didn't know how to go about these things, and they have carried that burden, and some of them had cultivate certain characters that had led to certain things that I just even don't want to talk about that during this period. We'll talk about that during our main module sessions. And we're also going to look at addressing social media influence, peer pressure, and get rich quick mentality. These days, the youngsters, they are crazy about money. They're craving for quick, quick, quick money. Okay, the moment they hear this, okay, I want to do. And now they're doing sakawa. They're into scam. Any if you like, you can do a monthly or a yearly simulation of fraudsters or scammers on the internet at home. It's becoming so bad that now people are seeing it to be normal. It's not normal. That's not the way of life. So we had to help and then also let the children know that there is a proper way. If you want to get rich, if you want to make good money, there is a proper way to go about that. So that's why I've put together for the different categories for the You Guide Youth, You Guide Teens Kit, You Guide Champions Kit, and then You Guide Parents, so that cut across every stage, you'll be able to know what to do, what is expected of you, and the impact you are going to make. And the last part of the module that we're going to have will be how to handle difficult topics like pornography, masturbation, lesbianism, homosexuality, and the rest. Do you talk about pornography with your children? Have you spoken to your children? There was a time I was training one of the students, junior high school. So you know how I do my training. So I said, oh, okay, let's take some pictures and all that, because I want to see how far the world is going so that I can be able to help them. And unfortunately, I opened the phone and I saw things that even me, as a married person, I won't even keep on my phone. And the bottom line was, he felt not too that, I've seen it, yay, and I had to find the best way to mentor him in a professional way so that he doesn't lose guard and lose focus. Parents, I'm counting on you. These models are models that are intended to serve the global market, to help shape the future of our beautiful children, and then it's also going to help shape the right children for the right future that will become leaders and take charge of our presidency, the parliament, and make good decisions that will help our countries. So you might be watching me from France, from Switzerland, from Ghana, from Nigeria, from South Africa, from the US, from the UK, any part of the world that you are watching me. Parents, I will entreat you, kindly subscribe. You're going to have a 1 year access to the platform, and all the modules will be uploaded progressively. So every week we're going to upload the modules. So within the span of 1 year, you would have been able to finish all your modules, and you can learn at your own pace, maybe whilst you've closed from work and you're going home. You can be able to listen just like you go on social media during your break time or your lunch time. You can listen to it bit by bit until you finish all the modules. And when you finish all the modules, you will see that you will have a certain mindset that would help you nurture, sit back, assess, and see what best you can do to bring out the best in your children. And remember, the children are not going to be for only you. When God gives you a child, it's for the world. So, how are you nurturing what God has given you? How are you preparing what God has given you for the world to become a better place? I'm counting on you, parents. If you are interested, if you have any questions, kindly contact me and I'll be more than happy to help you. We can also have a one-on-one session. If you want to book a session for yourself or for your ward, you can visit our website, that is nancelpro.com. You can book a session. If there are no time slots, kindly send me an email. You can send us an email at hello@revista.com, or you can send us a WhatsApp. This is a Ghana WhatsApp number, and then with that I can be able to help you. Remember, no one knows it all, and nurturing children, sometimes it goes beyond just giving them food, paying school fees, and they go to school and it ends there. No, it does not end there. You have been giving precious children to nurture for the world to become future leaders, future fathers, future mothers, future MPs. And now look at what is happening. Ladies must be trained properly, financial burdens. The girls must also support. Together we can make the world a beautiful place. All right. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in the session. And we're also creating a community where we're going to have some live sessions that we can address most of these questions that if you do have any of them, and then we will be able to answer them for you. So I wish you all the very best, and I look forward to seeing you in the session, helping our children become the best they can be. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Bonne journée. Au revoir. À bientôt.